Hello and
Hey.
welcome. Welcome to the Evening Brew, our blabcast, blab, podcast, all that good stuff in one, where we kind of talk about things we love, our weeks, etc. So, yeah, and I'm Hannah.
I'm Sarah.
Yep. And we have a lifestyle blog called The Perfect Storm BFFs. And you can just find us there or, any of our social media channels. It's pretty much all Perfect Storm BFF or the Perfect Storm BFFs. You'll definitely find it. Um, but first, Sarah, how was your week?
It was interesting. I don't know. It was weird. My weeks have been weird lately. I've been busy. It seems like I can't get a break. I don't
I'm
But
opening up my Starbucks.
you're opening up your Frappuccino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the weekend happened, and if you guys don't know, Janelle, you know, we know you know. We had a yard sale, and that was fun. Usually they're always fun. This one it wasn't too crazy. It got worse. Well, actually, kind of, I guess, because it did rain, and it was like raining on and off, and it was like annoying. Because I wish it would
We
just
were
hit
getting wet and
rain
we didn't
and
care
not.
though.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah, and then we had one crazy lady who I don't know if she's crazy, but she was like uh It was well, I wasn't I think I went
You
inside
weren't
to use
even
the
there. No,
bathroom.
I was.
No, and you were there.
I was there. What happened was, is this lady? She was coming and she was looking for. I don't know. She was buying some of my clothes, right? And she was like, "You don't have any leggers, do ya?" And I was like, "Leggers? I'm sorry, I don't know what leggers are." And she's like, "Leggers, like what you're wearing." And I'm like, "Jeans." And then I was like, "Oh, you mean leggings?" And she's like, "Yeah, leggers." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Leggings,
and
leggers." Yeah.
I was wearing leggings, and then I came back out, and she was like, "Oh, like what she's wearing? Yeah, them leggers." And you're like, "Yeah, leggings." And she's like, "Yeah, them leggers. Whatever they're called."
I was like, "These are skinny
And
jeans," and she's like, "Same difference." I was like, "Okay."
and then she was wearing blue, and a bird pooped on her. And she said that happened like to her twice or something that day. And I was like,
She said the birds must love the color blue or something like that. And then like there were some other people browsing and they were like, "Oh, they say that's good luck." And I was like, "I don't know about this girl."
I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like luck to me. Oh,
She I mean, she was really nice, but she was just confused on exactly what leggings were called.
it's work. Yeah.
We always get
Oh.
like weird inside jokes like when we do yard sales. It's like the best. Or like these
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah,
Like
like
okay.
it was one of our first ones we did like a few years ago, and I think it was because of the ad we put in the paper where we had a lot of Bath and Body stuff, and um and I think it was like Bath and Body Works items or something, and then we would have a
Something.
lot of people drive, and they would stop in front of the house, and they'd be like, "You got it would be like, "You got any Bath and Body?"
They would just like stop, roll down the window, and be like, "You got any Bath and Body?" And then it gets right there, or like, "Oh no, it's gone!" Like by the end of the day, and they'd be like, "Oh," and then like gun it down the street. I was like, "I don't know what that's all about."
Yeah. uh,
Some of the stuff you had to be there,
anyway,
but it's awfully funny. And then there was Sarah had this what was it, like a table or like shelving?
it was a shelf, and there was this couple where I realized on Saturday they didn't come by our yard sale too, so hopefully they're still around. That
Yeah,
sounds weird.
there were
But
no couple,
they,
but they would come to like every single yard sale we ever had every year.
yeah, and they would buy the most random stuff. They just seemed like major hoarders. Nothing against it, but whatever, man. And the wife, she was like outside and she was looking around, and the husband, he was in the car waiting on her. And this was like on a Saturday around 1 or 2 o'clock. I don't know, early afternoon. And he would like yell things out of the window.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be like, "Hurry up, the news is gonna
She did, yeah. He was like, "We gotta hurry up, the news is coming on," and it was like the new news. It's like, "We gotta get home for the news," and I was like,
be."
"Better
There's
hurry
that.
home for the new news."
And then it was like blue skies, white clouds, and he was like, "It's gonna rain, it's gonna rain, hurry up."
Yeah, and then we were just like,
it was
"All right."
gonna rain it off.
Yeah.
And then I had a shelf, and she like was for some reason like shaking it.
It was like one of those. It was like one of those plastic ones. It's like layer shelves, so it's not like just a shelf. It was like a stand-up layer thing.
Yeah, and she like for some reason started shaking it, and he would be like, "Oh, it's too wobbly, it's too wobbly."
And I was like, "Yeah, you're shaking it like a bush. Like, yeah, it's a little wobbly when you do that." And they're like, "Oh, can't buy that. It's too wobbly." And I was like, "These people." Yeah, we've had some interesting yard sale stories, and you know, you meet some interesting people. It's a good time overall.
Usually.
And
So, how was
my
your
week,
week?
oh yeah. Well, I had a decent week. I saw the X-Men. I was not impressed. It was okay, and I was a little disappointed. But I did like seeing like the characters. And at work, I had Janelle knows this one too because I told it in my Snap story. But there was a service dog or not service dog. I don't know. They had a vest on. It said things. It could have just been a dog. They could have bought a vest for the dog, like one of those things, strap vest things for seeing eye dogs or whatever.
I don't know.
It wasn't like for blind people because it didn't have the handlebar.
Well,
it was just like had a vest.
Some people they just have them, and I think some people they will have like. Janelle, you threw me off. I've seen them in the stores too, and I think that people can just get them for like if they have anxiety. That sounds terrible.
I've heard that.
I think it's like that, and maybe if you have other health issues or something. I don't know.
Well, and even there's a girl in there today. She comes in there with her mom all the time. She has like a little Yorkie, and it sits like in between her legs, kind of on the handicap motor carts, and she just they don't care. It's not like they card.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, that's not a seeing eye dog. You better get out of here." No, they don't do that. They just don't.
I'll see one woman, and she'll have the cart. She'll like be pushing a cart, a grocery cart, and she'll have the dog just sitting in the baby thing and walk around with it and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, whatever. If the dog's good, it doesn't like do anything, I guess.
Yeah, well, this dog was the opposite of good. Well, I can't fault the dog. But basically, the girl was walking, and I felt sorry for the girl because she was like really pregnant. She had like a small child. Somebody else was with her, you know, whatever. And then the dog just took a massive dump right in front of my cart. And I was like, oh. And then I was afraid that she was gonna like just take off and not clean it up because so many people would do that. It'd be like, oh, hightail it out of there. She did not. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I just gave her my sanitizer and paper towels, and she cleaned it up. I even gave her like a different bag to like bag it up in because there's no way that was going in my trash can.
Yeah.
Plus, and it stunk up the place for like a good while, and I was just like,
sure,
because it was literally right in front of my cart, like. But she was really nice about it, and I was just kind of being reassuring, being like, oh, it's fine, it happens, you know, whatever. Because once it happens, you know, what are you going to do? You know, you got to clean it up. That's it.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I could check that off my list of things that I saw at the Sam's Club that I didn't think I would see at the Sam's Club. But yeah,
You never know, man.
you never know. That place is a wonderland.
That's weird how many stories you tell me with Sam's Club, how the things have happened in there. And it's like, there's so many things I've never even seen in Walmart. Which you would
Yeah,
think it would be maybe the opposite or at least the same because of how Walmart stories will be and stuff like that. And I've seen some things, but never anything like the stuff you've told me. But
yeah, I know.
it's
But
weird.
it can be really extreme, and I don't know why. Today was fine though. I just had like it was kind of a boring day, but overall it was fine, man. That was an art show. I had an art show. I'm a photographer. I have like my art, and I entered it in a show in West Virginia. I'm an artist, quote unquote, and I ended up getting second place overall out of the show, and I was really surprised because I walked in and I was like, "Oh, they're having awards for this? I didn't even know there were awards at the show." I was just like, I came in and they were like, "Oh, you came just in time. They're getting ready to hand out awards," and I was like, "Okay, they are," because I didn't know,
Nice,
and
yeah.
I ended up getting second place overall, which included a cash prize of $250. So I'm
Nice.
gonna tuck that away, but I was very surprised. And Fatima, I didn't tell you this. I haven't talked to Sarah, but one of my professors was in the show too. Like her artwork was in there. Fatima,
Yeah.
Sarah knows her,
Yeah.
and she got an honorable mention, and I got second
Nice.
place. And I
Nice.
was like, what? Because she like teaches
Her
art, like
stuff,
she's
yeah, she
legit.
teaches stuff and does it she draws or does she like paint?
She mostly paints, but she draws too. I think most of her
Yeah.
stuff now deals with painting, and she's like doing different techniques and stuff. But
Yeah. She's really, really good too.
really good.
She is.
Well, but the jurors like had in their statement like they were looking for things with perspective and playing with line and like all that stuff, and all the things that they picked were like that. And mine is it was like this one I took of a gas station. It's from a very different perspective, and it's very wide angle, and it's a little different. And that's why they picked it, because I was like, oh, they were looking for a different perspective, because they gave like a little statement in their pamphlet about like why they picked who they picked. And I was like, well, yeah, because hers are portraits and mine are like kind of really perspective-y, and all the other ones that were like best of show and stuff were the same way. So
Yeah.
I was proud of myself, and I was like, well, at least some people like my art.
Some people.
Oh, and I got interviewed by a real news person. They're like, can I
Whoa.
interview for the Huntington newspaper? And I was like, yes, yes, you may. What would you like to know? I was just like, oh my, you want to interview me for the newspaper? I was having a serious case of like, pinch me that day, because it was just, it was really nice, and I was just flattered that she wanted to interview me, and like several people came up to me and stuff, and like my other professor from Shawnee, my ceramics professor Mike, he was down there with his wife, and he introduced me to some of his friends from Marshall and stuff, and like they were like, oh, we really like your stuff, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, thank you so much, like I'm not worthy, basically, but it's nice to be like when you feel like a failure because you work at the Sam's Club still. It's nice to know you're still like a decent photographer. Because I mean, I think
Yeah.
that, but like it's just like I don't know. It's just, what do other people think as well? It just I don't know. It's like a little bit of self-esteem boost for me. But anyway,
Yeah.
enough about me.
We just need to do more though, because you said you want to do more anyway. So
I
it's
do.
your motivation,
Yeah,
kind of.
this is from a series I haven't even finished yet. I was like, yes, this is my series. It's all about this and blah blah blah. And it's not finished. But I didn't say that. But
What
in
they
my
don't
head, I'm
know
like,
won't
it's
hurt
not
them.
finished. Well, I just said ongoing series.
Yeah,
Sounds better than not finished. It's just,
exactly.
but it is motivation for sure.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, so we are kind of changing how we're doing our black Janelle, since you're here, and for other people, we are going to kind of have it more in segments where we're going to talk about our week, favorites, if we have any, and then lifestyle news, which would be like in fashion.
Triple threat. We call it triple threat
news, which is food, fashion, and cribs. So it's food news, fashion news, home news, I guess, or something relating to houses. I don't know. We're not quite sure.
Whatever makes your home, dang it. I'm not going to be specific.
Maybe we'll talk about Christmas trees around Christmas. I don't know.
Do you prefer the firs or the pines? No,
real or aluminum?
Aluminum?
Yeah.
Actually, those are being more popular. Probably. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
And then hot topic news, which would be like current news, basically, from really anything, I guess, right?
Yeah, we want to do the triple threat news and then just anything that's been bopping around on the internet that caught our eye and we have opinions on.
Yeah. So, do you have any favorites from this
I have
week?
a favorite. As a matter of fact, it is this. The Starbucks Frappuccino. But this is a new flavor they got in at Sam's. It's the tiramisu flavor. And it tastes the best out of all of them that I've had. And it tastes more coffee-ish than like the other ones. Not like so sweet. It has a lot more flavor than any of the other ones. It's like a limited edition one they said. But they just got it in at Sam's and it's on sale too right now. Nice. Not to plug Sam's Club, but it's like
sounds like it.
$3 for 15, so it's like $1 something a piece, a bottle. But I've been drinking a lot of these this time of year because it's like I haven't. In the mornings, I drink my coffee hot, but like if I want to bring this to work with me, it still gives me like some caffeine, and it's hot outside, so I don't necessarily drink hot coffee or make iced coffee. This is just kind of like I can pull it out and drink it. Yeah, that's my favorite, pretty much.
Okay. I don't know if I have a favorite. I was going to talk about a song that I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's by Kid Cudi. How do you say his last name?
I don't know. Cudi. I say Cudi, but I'm not sure if that's correct.
I don't know, but it's called Red Eye, and I have been.
Oh, no, that one. Is it newish or oldish?
It's old. It's from the one album that's like Red Fire, whatever. And
Man on the Moon?
I don't know. I don't know. I just heard it on like a playlist on Spotify, and I like it. I don't know why. He doesn't even hardly sing in it. There's some other girl who sings in it. Most of the song, and it's about being overwhelmed and then going away on a red-eye plane, which if I would ever fly on a plane again, that's probably what I would do because then I would sleep. And
I love his music. I like most of his stuff, but I've never seen that. But like his stuff, some of it is hit or miss. But like the ones that I really like, and I listen to often. Plus, I feel better because he's from Cleveland.
It's that one.
Oh no!
If you can see it, it's in
Indicode. I don't know.
In D, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have been looking that up and linking it for Janelle so she could listen. But anyway, Sarah, why do you like it? What makes it
I don't know, because it's kind of more upbeat, and it's not like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know why I like songs. I just like them because I like them and stuff. And I think it's because it's upbeat and it's more like a little bit peppy. Kind of a lot of his music, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of his music is really peppy. All right, we're going to listen to it. You ready? Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay. This won't show the recording, but Janelle will hear it, which is all that matters. Oh, I stopped it. Oops. This reminds me of Justin Timberlake. the beginning of this right now. It reminds me of
Yeah.
AT.
I
Right
guess.
around sexy back time.
Yeah. Red eye, red eye, red eye.
I don't care for it. It's good.
Of
I mean,
course
it
you
sounds
don't.
fine. It's just a little too R&B for me, I think, almost. But it may get better if he starts rapping more, because I like his rapping style.
There's only one like chorus where he raps, and that's it. It's mostly this.
I could dig it. It just reminds me of
I
Justin
don't know.
Timberlake, but
It
it's
just got
fine.
stuck in my head. I listened to it. It got
I
stuck
can
in my
see
head. I
that. It
can't
could
help
get stuck
it.
in your head.
It's
I can see
very
it.
the beat. Yeah.
I do like Kid Cudi, like a lot of his stuff. Like I said, plus he's from Cleveland, and we're from Ohio, so pretty close.
Yeah.
That Kid Cudi. He was in what's that show? The one about the cops with Andy Samberg in it.
Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That one. He was in it. He plays like a reoccurring bad guy in that kind. Not bad guy, like a shady Fox character.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why I said that, but I just thought of that. Anyway. Good favorite.
So that's our favorites of the week.
Yep.
Okay. And then for lifestyle news now, I found this article, which it's kind of old. A little bit, well, it's about 2 months old. It started to come out in the presses, I guess, aka on BuzzFeed, because that's where I actually found all these.
BuzzFeed, the #1 news story for millennials.
It was something, and I found it, and I thought this would be a good topic to talk about. And I talked about it with, amongst other people. I can't think of who they were. My mom.
Your mom.
And that was basically
Your cats? Did you tell your cats about it?
No, they don't care anymore. Okay, but basically, hold on. I lost the first one. But basically, it's a whole thing about those sites that are on Facebook that you'll see, like the dresses and tops and clothing, basically, that is like super, super cheap, like $10 for a really nice dress, $20 for a really nice dress.
Are you, not to interrupt you, are you citing the BuzzFeed story? Because I'll pull that up for us.
You can.
This is the story that she's talking about. I'll just leave the link there. Say no to the dress. Yep.
Yeah. And basically what happened was Facebook, they had these sites where they had these clothing items, and the sites would take images. They would steal images from, for example, this woman's Instagram. She had this dress on there, and they took her picture and put it on their site and had a dress that was similar to the dress, but it's not similar at all, and they're very cheaply made and stuff. And then other girls, they would order clothing from the sites and be really disappointed and stuff like that. And which I can understand, because you would want it. But there was a whole bunch of things that happened on and on with it, where I think the company got sued, or there were a bunch of stuff that actually happened. And my whole take on it was all these companies too are in Asia. I think they may all be in China or Asia or in that general area.
In Asia, yeah.
In Asia. And my whole thing is they're selling a dress that a gown, for example, the one that's there, a gown, and I think they were selling that for $20. And to me, it's kind of wouldn't you what would you be expecting? If it was me, if I would go and order something that would be super, super cheap from China or whatever, nothing again, not saying that China, all their stuff is junk, but I mean, you kind of have to don't really trust a lot of like the Chinese clothing sites and stuff like that, because I feel like it's,
if
I
it's
don't
not
know,
like a reputable like retailer, like this
yeah,
one I just brought up, it's like there's the picture they used, and
yeah,
that's what the person got.
yeah,
Not even.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
nothing
like
like that.
you're
And
not
then
gonna get like a dress like that for $12. Like, come on.
exactly,
And not
that
even
was
like a
my
clearance sale. I mean, a clearance sale, sure. Thrift store, sure. But not like, you know, anything like that. And like here, they were selling like their swimwear, like on a Facebook ads. This is where most of it is Facebook ads.
mhm.
And like, that's what they're promoting. And then they ripped it from like Bazaar and, other magazines. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, if you
Yeah.
keep scrolling down.
This girl or more?
Well, no, there's more.
Okay.
I think it's the next picture,
Okay.
where even that dress was like on that one. Well, that
Yeah.
was like a prom dress, and that dress retails for like $350, and they were selling it for $10.30. And then go
Yeah.
down, and then if you just scroll down, and then that's the dress,
Yeah.
where it's like nothing like it.
Except the color, maybe. Maybe. Ish.
Yeah, the collar, but it's like the material can tell it's completely different. And I even think that they will even explain, like in the info on the site, it will say it's this material and whatever, and it's not even that material
Yeah,
and
there's a
stuff.
ton of like complaints and stuff that they had. You can check out the full article. And the
Yeah,
worst thing is Facebook's not doing anything about it. They're basically like, and yeah, they use Katy Perry. I mean, come on now. But they're basically like, as long as they're adhering to our policies, they can pretty much put whatever they want. Which is so
yeah,
dumb because they're just
they
scamming
did.
people.
They did have a thing where it says like Facebook will do everything we can to address the shady dress retailers, when it's like the thing is they're not going to.
They'll be like, yep, we'll get right on it.
Yeah. Which to me would be like, okay, yeah, all right.
Well,
That's
I
not
mean,
going to happen, because it's like Facebook is a multi-million user platform. They're not going to like just, get right on that, I guess.
well,
They
and
have other
what can they really do? I mean, it's not like they can check up and be like, are you selling what you? This one's good. Where it's like the big sweater and then the tiny sweater. That's funny. But anyway, um, it's like they can't be like, are you? They can't check up on people and say whatever. Like, are you selling what you're selling? Confirmed, whatever. Or even like rated companies because there are new companies starting out that don't have much in the way of ratings.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like they can't really do a ton about it, but at the same time, it's like if they're known, like these companies, are known to be like pretty much scamming people. Let's block these people. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're already, really known for that, let's stop it. You know what
Yeah,
I
because they
mean?
can take down their sites and stuff, or not their site, but they could take down their Facebook pages.
Yeah, or at least their ads,
Yeah.
which is, would be fine. Wouldn't
Yeah.
upset me.
No. And stuff. And I even actually knew a girl. I had a girl I had a class with, and she said that happened to her too. And she said she just ordered like a hoodie, and it wasn't even the same color or material, and it was like sewn really weirdly and stuff like that.
Well, Janelle
And
just said that um, I saw some of these on Facebook, and yes, I almost bought a swimsuit, but it just seemed fishy to me. Yeah, good move. Don't buy it.
yeah, don't
If it
do it,
seems
girl.
too good to be true, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like not even a sale price. But sometimes you can get that stuff fairly cheap, like Old Navy or whatever we talked about in the Morning Brew. They had like a pretty sweet deal, like a buy one get one free, or no, a 50% off like all shirts or something at Old Navy last week for Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And it was like stuff
Yeah,
went
that
down to like $8, $10, whatever. But it's like that's a sale price, and it's Old Navy. You already know them. But
yeah. To me, I think you just have to get it's it's less risky if you just get your stuff from a reputable place, a reputable site, store, whatever. Go to the store yourself and get it. I mean, I'm all for online shopping, but I shop for places I've, shopped at before and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't,
good move.
I don't, I think you just have to be kind of smart about it and stuff. And I would be annoyed too, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, but I almost can't fault I mean, it is the company's fault, but and it's like some people aren't even getting their money back from it. It's like you jump through 10,000 hoops and you get your $10 back or whatever it was. It's like not even worth it. That's the sad
yeah,
part. And like if you go to the site and you're checking it out, it looks like a legit website. Like it looks really well designed and
mm-hmm.
stuff, but it's just they are not delivering. And you think that they would have like some sort of uh well, I was gonna say like FTC guidelines, but it's China. Like if they were the United States,
Yeah,
I'm sure they would have some sort of guidelines that they had to follow. But
yeah.
China,
I
so I'm
don't
sure
trust
they don't
China.
care.
That sounds. I'm not against China. I would like to go there someday, but
I just mean they
I
don't have the
just
same laws and regulations that we do. That's why a
yeah.
lot of the places like move their factories and stuff over there because they don't have the same like rigid
Mhm.
environmental laws and different things like that
Yeah,
that we do.
yeah.
Big
Thanks.
bummer. Um,
Yeah,
that's pretty much our lifestyle news. We had
yeah.
one story. It was great. But it's a good issue. Just like basically, takeaway from this is don't buy anything if it looks fishy on a website unless it's legit. It's legit.
Mhm.
And our hot topic news, we have a couple interesting topics. The first one is I'm sure that if you've been around on the Facebook or like any site pretty much that does all that, you've heard about this teacher who was with her student, supposedly dating, definitely having the intercourse with them.
I'm
I'm
so
gonna try.
mature.
I'm gonna try and say this the most awkward way that I can, just to make everyone really uncomfortable. No, I'm just kidding. But if you've seen it, you've seen it. Basically, there's a girl, and I need to have this article in front of me so I can look at the facts. But she got in trouble for having sex with her student. She claims that they were dating, and the parents were okay with it. She claims.
They technically they that's what it says is they were dating and they were in love and having sex like every day,
Oh,
which
every
which
day.
to me is like good grief, God.
Well, it's
She
clickbait.
is
I feel like that's
13,
clickbait.
so that sounds anyway.
I feel like because every article will put that they had sex almost every day. It's like it's clickbait too, whether they did or not. But at the same time, yeah. I mean, the kid was 13. I didn't get to that part yet. Kid is 13 years old. She is I don't know how many years old. They didn't say. I don't think
Um, she's 24.
24 years old. And oh gosh, she's my age. I just realized that. Anyway, she's a teacher in Houston, Texas, and yeah, she was with this 13-year-old. He supposedly got her pregnant, and then when the CDC, not CDC, Child Services, whatever, investigated, they questioned her about it, and then she said she got scared or whatever, and had an abortion. So that put an end to that. And basically, she was his teacher in 2015. So they had their relationship for a whole year, maybe ongoing, according to them. But as soon as they started investigating, basically she got an abortion, and um, she ended up actually turning herself in because she's still going to get in trouble. It doesn't matter. Janelle said, is she still going to get in trouble or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to get in major trouble because she still has charges against her. It doesn't matter if she's pregnant or not. You have sex with a minor, girl, boy, whatever. They don't care what age. you had sex with a child, like even if they were 17, you know, about to turn 18 in a couple months, it's still, yeah, yeah, it was still like that's how it was going to be. And yes, Janelle, she'll never be able to teach again because she'll be a registered sex offender for the rest of her life, which is good. Um,
Yeah.
Basically, this whole thing is just kind of a weirdo thing. I do think it's probably a good move on her part that she turned herself in and after the warrant
But
was arrested.
she got a bail. She got bailed out for $100,000, which I want to know who paid that to bail
Probably
her
her
out of jail.
parents or
Maybe.
somebody else, or you can get bail bonds.
Yeah, but apparently she turned herself in, which I don't know when she did that, and then she got bailed out.
Yeah, which that's fine. She still like is she just doesn't have to spend like time in the jail until
Yeah.
um her trial. They didn't have a date. Oh, Wednesday. She turned herself in on last Wednesday. And they posted bail. She declined to answer questions, all that other stuff. And apparently,
It got
uh,
turned into a movie on Lifetime.
this needs to be a movie on Lifetime because it is
They
just
always do that with
they
Lifetime.
do. But anyway, they this is how they say it started, which I think is so weird. I'm gonna read it off the story because it's really weird. She told police that the boy missed class in September and she became concerned. So she sent him a message on Instagram. Police said he asked for the teacher's phone number and she gave it to him. All right, that sounds smart. First of all, why are you like engaging with your like student on
Like
the
that.
social media like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I get that it's like this new day and age and you can like text your whatevers and be like, whoa, you missed class. You should probably go to class. But I just still think that's really
You need to
wrong.
have like some very strict like boundaries. You need to have very strict boundaries with it. And I read like where you mentioned that she had him in summer school or something, and then he got in her class, and then the whole thing about him missing class, and apparently he like was seeking her out. He was wanting to follow her on Instagram and whatever, and she like refused to let him follow her, give her her Instagram handle, and then I guess somehow she gave it to him because they were talking through Instagram, and then had the number, and then it continued on from there, and she would like even give him rides and
Yeah,
stuff
she
in
said
her
she later went
car.
to his house to pick him up and they drove around and kissed in the car, police said. Later in September, she drove to his house and had sex with the student for the first time, police said in court documents. She told the police, well, she already said that they had sex every day and they love each other. That's great. And then she told investigators that the boy would sleep at her house and then she would drive him back to the house in the morning so that he could catch the bus.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I just can't
Why?
believe
Like,
that.
not why. It's like you're 24. I'm 25. I cannot even imagine doing something like that with a 13-year-old boy.
No, and going to all the trouble of being like, well, now I have to drop him back off at home so he can catch the bus in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
well, and I want to see a picture of this 13-year-old. What does he
That's what
look
I
like
was wondering.
exactly
That's what I was wondering. I was like, is
today?
this a really hot 13-year-old? That sounds wrong. I
It
know
does
you're an
sound
adult,
wrong, but I mean,
but
like,
it's like there's some decent looking boys out there. They're just gonna be handsome men.
well,
But
I
it's
think you
like
can look a lot
I think
older
you
than
just
your
gotta be.
age, too. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that
was in
too.
school with, in eighth grade, one of my classmates had a beard in, like, eighth grade, like the same
Yeah,
age as this kid. He had, like, a full
yeah,
beard and everything. He looked like a 20-year-old or whatever.
yeah,
So, I mean, benefit of the doubt, but it doesn't matter. In the eyes of the law, it's 13, and in the eyes of just you, like, you, I mean, like, this kid is, like, 13. I'm his teacher. I'm taking him to the bus stop in the morning after we
yeah.
commit this act against God and humanity. You know what I mean?
God and humanity and some laws.
Yes, Janelle, I agree with what Janelle is saying. She can't believe the parents were okay with this.
Yeah.
Nor can she says, even if he was dating a 13-year-old, like her daughter or whatever, I would not be okay with my son having sex. I agree.
I wouldn't.
But
I couldn't. I.
I would not. But I think that there's such a stigma between guys having sex and girls having sex. A girl starts having sex, everyone like flips a table and it's like, "Whoa, they're too young, blah, blah, blah." But guys having sex like at a younger age, it's more like a notch on their bedpost. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just what they do. And
And
I
it's like,
don't
oh,
think
it's
that
no
that's
big
right.
deal. You
Yep.
know.
It is a big deal. Basically. And apparently this sort of infraction on the girl's part has been going on for a long time. The neighbors, according to the neighbors, this is hearsay, said that sometimes she had 5 teenage boys over her at her house at one time. The kid was always over, and she told the neighbors that it was her brother. So, apparently, yeah, according to this hearsay document, I'm not going to say that it's fact because it's according to the neighbors. But apparently she
Yeah.
had other boys over, be whoever they are, according to that. So, and let's see here, my second point. Yeah, and they signed like a full like affidavit saying they were okay with it. The parents were okay with their relationship.
Yeah.
And according to her, that they um, would go to family gatherings, which is so weird.
Yeah.
Like, this is my
That is. They
teacher.
were like. They were like. I guess the parents found out like a month after her and him had been having relations or something, and then
Yeah.
they were okay with it. They were supportive, and they're like, "Oh, you can come to our family gatherings," and they introduced her as his girlfriend and everything.
Yeah.
And then whenever she found out she was pregnant, and they told him, they were supportive about that and were excited. That's what the news says. But apparently, they were excited and ecstatic and everything about her being pregnant and stuff like that. And the girl
I
already, she already has a 4-year-old daughter to
yeah.
me, and it's like that's not really the point, but it is kind of like, okay.
She
Um,
ruined her life basically because this is going to follow her for a long, long
yeah,
time, and she's going to be a sex offender. She may face jail time. She might lose
yeah,
custody of her child. Janelle is completely correct on that.
yeah.
Um, it says she faces 25 to 99 years. They won't put 99 years on her, but in prison on a felony sexual abuse charge. And aggravated sexual assault of a child, basically. Minimum sentence of 25 years. So minimum she'll be 25 years in jail, give or take. Um, and obviously the school, and this is what I found interesting on this one article. She's not the only teacher to commit a sexual act with a student from that school. I know I'm not like pulling up the story, but this lady, you can't see it if you're listening. But
I
anyway, there's
can see
another
it.
teacher. I just mean for the people listening audioly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She gave a student a lap dance as a birthday present.
I
And
remember hearing about that.
I remember
Yeah,
hearing about it too. Same school, another like female teacher. This is the same school. She gave it to him in the classroom full of students. It was recorded on the phone by a student, of course, because if you're any sort of person, you know their kids have their phones. Like,
yeah.
it was a full contact lap dance, blah blah blah, like full contact lap dance. And
Oh
they
my
go a little in
gosh.
depth with that, and it's just like, ooh. But she was convicted of, I don't know how much she got in jail for. Oh, she was granted probation after she gave a student a lap dance in 2014. So she's on probation for something. I don't know what she actually got charged.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
don't think you could actually go to jail for that because there's no actual contact.
Well, it was full contact.
Well, yeah, but it's not like they're actually like,
It's still assault, though. That's just like
yeah,
sexual assault. Like
yeah,
if a guy touches you or whatever, it
yeah,
could be like
yeah.
sexual assault, whether he like did it whatever or she did whatever. It's just still assault either way. And it's just very bad in another way. But she probably served. It said this happened in 2014. So yeah, it's the same middle school. So yeah, Janelle, I second that. What is wrong with this middle school? What is
I
wrong with
don't
it?
know. Maybe my okay. Here's my theory: is the principal is probably a man, and he is probably hires these girls, the teachers who are pretty and
Well, did you see that
whatever.
picture of
The
that
one
one
lady
lady?
wasn't.
She was
Maybe
42
she had
and she looked worse for wear. So, I mean, I don't know. But no, this
it.
other girl, though, I agree that she's like super pretty. Not that that's a
She's
bad thing.
pretty,
Pretty is great.
and
But go
I
ahead,
don't
Sarah.
have nothing against being pretty, but it's kind of like maybe the guy like hires these women who I don't know are pretty and maybe a little bit on the horse side or something.
Horse. Listen,
Well,
there's
it's
nothing
kind of
wrong
like
with
that.
having your needs, but
I
you don't
mean,
need them
do what you
satisfied by
want
a
with your life,
13-year-old.
but you don't need to try and go after these teenage boys
Yeah.
and girls and whatever. And it's kind of that's that could be like a crazy theory, but I wonder if it's something like that. Like maybe the principal, he just likes women, and maybe if it's a woman who kind of shows off some more skin, and he's like, okay, I'll hire her, no problem there. It's the same thing as like this is all a little bit off topic, but there's like a Sonic restaurant in our town,
Oh
and
gosh. Yes.
all there's only one in our town because we do live in a small town, but they're girls are usually like working there and they're all pretty, but they are so what's the right way to put this?
Dumb.
Dumb.
They're like,
They're so blonde. They're blonde. You like oh, it drives me crazy. Because you go and you say, okay, I want this order, and then they like pause for a good minute or two before they read you back your order, and it's like,
and
do
they
you
usually
know
get
what
it
I'm
wrong.
saying? And they usually get it wrong. It's usually like it's annoying, and so and ever since they hired the place, so I think the person who does the hiring, they just go after these girls who are pretty and cute and whatever and stupid and could be the same type of guy that hires the prince as the guy who's the principal could be the same type where he likes these girls who are pretty or women or whatever. I don't know. So maybe he likes the black ladies too. I don't know.
Doesn't
Nothing
matter.
against them. Doesn't matter, but I don't know. I don't know. That could be it. Could be completely wrong. Maybe the principal's a woman. No idea.
I don't
Either
know. I didn't
way,
see who the principal was. That wasn't. I didn't go that far in my research here.
yeah.
But also the other interesting part that I think is that this girl is the daughter of a former Houston cop. Excuse me. And he was actually fired by the police department in 2011 after a 13-year career that was clouded in controversy, quote unquote. And actually, he was suspended for a confrontation with his wife, and then he signed a last chance agreement with the police department, basically saying that if he committed any sort of infraction, he would be fired. Um, so he got suspended again for 15 days for sexually harassing a female officer.
Oh,
So
what
he
the
left his beat
heck?
while on duty to harass her. He was not fired because the harassment had occurred before the suspension, but he was eventually fired for trying to pay off his mechanics to pass an inspection on his police car. So that's why he was
What?
ultimately fired. But he was like basically in and out of trouble the whole time. And several sexual harassments.
And this is the dad of the woman, and he
This
was a
is the dad
cop.
of the woman.
A cop.
A cop, but he was doing all this terrible stuff. Yeah.
What the heck?
And, well, to me, it's like, well, you know what? I mean, I don't want to judge this lady. I don't know her. But I'm saying that was her dad. I'm sure that she was, I mean, I don't know if her parents were divorced or what. She had a conversation with his wife. So, obviously something was on the rocks. But I'm sure that affected her at a young age. So maybe that's,
Yeah.
I mean, on like a more psychological level, maybe that's why she did this. Maybe she
Yeah.
was abused as a child or something. You never know. Because if the guy's gonna like, they kind of insinuate abuse with the wife, and then like he was actually sexually harassing a female officer, it doesn't look like that she got a very great view of like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
A real like she didn't get a good view or have a real I guess her dad of how a man should be.
Yeah. Or like, what you should be as a woman. Because if
Yeah.
you also see like her Facebook pictures, I feel so bad because if anything happens to you, like this is what people are gonna do. They're gonna dig through your Facebook and they're gonna plaster everything that even and like she has all of her pictures with her low cut tops, her like little short shorts and whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, that's pretty much the case. And it's just very like, I don't know. I feel like maybe her like views are skewed in some sort of way.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
That's probably it for sure, because you'd have to have like some kind of issues to continue in a relationship with like a 13-year-old boy.
Yes.
And stuff, because it's like you and me both, we would never ever think of doing something like that.
No.
And it's like, first off, it's like, even if I just can't even wrap my mind around it, because it's like, why? Like, you would think, oh, I'm gonna get involved with this 13-year-old boy. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with this. When it's like, no, it's not okay. You can't just do that. I don't know. That's what I figured. I figured the boy probably had some issues too, especially since his like parents were supportive of their whole relationship.
I mean, how great parents are they?
That's what I don't get, because it's like that too. Because it's like your parents, you're 13. First off, 13 is so young to be like, first off, having sex and first off, well, I guess being in a relationship. And then
quote unquote air quotes here.
And then having sex and then like doing all these things and stuff. When I was 13, I was just like trying to figure out, I don't know what. I was just trying to, I don't know what I was doing when I was 13. I cannot remember. But
it sure the heck like, wasn't that.
No. And it was like, I don't know. And to me, that's the thing too, is you wondered how messed up were the kids' parents, because of where they were supportive of that. Because to me, it would be like, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Well, and you're hearing the side from her. She says the parents were supportive and stuff. I wonder what they have to say about it, because we haven't heard a statement from the parents about this whole shindig. And I wonder if she's maybe like a little bit nuts, That sounds dumb. But like she's a little crazy. She's like, they were so supportive, and they're like, you ask them and they're like, no.
I watched the one video of the article where after she got out of jail, and did you see that? The video? And she kind of just like,
I don't think I did.
She basically, there was a news person as she walked out, and they were like trying to question her like they usually do, and she was just like completely ignoring them. She was just like looking around like she was confused or something. Maybe she's stupid. I don't know.
Well, I just think that's a good move though. Like, don't talk to the press. Like, you just don't want to do that.
You don't want to do whatever. But it's kind of like, she seemed like almost like no emotion. No anything.
No regret, like, even. Like, no remorse. Regret. She's like, we were in love.
Remorse, almost like how sociopaths will be, where they will like go and do whatever. Not saying that she's like a sociopath. I'm just saying how it's like she doesn't regret the whole thing. She says all these things that, oh, they were in love. Oh, she got pregnant. Oh, well, then she got an abortion and all these things, and everyone was supportive of her. When you don't really know, maybe she could be crazy, because it seems like these things are very unbelievable, actually.
Yeah,
like parents being supportive.
Yeah, it's like Janelle said. It's like, really, they were? Are you sure? And it's just like, I don't get it. I don't believe it. I'm not okay with it. But yeah. And the other thing that I think is really weird is, well, actually, I think she has a decent lawyer because you see like her Facebook and like what it's all about, and then you see like how she dressed like for the trial. Did you see that, Sarah? I sent it to you.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
she's
where it
like
was,
everything is covered. Like she had like a blazer, like a pantsuit, and then she had like a white T-shirt underneath of like the buttoned blazer. So it's like everything, like her neck and everything was like covered
yeah,
pretty much. Like oh, no,
yeah,
full sleeves, no 3/4 length sleeves for her. Like
yeah. Where I've seen that like with other, like in other things where women will be like that. I don't know where, I can't recall really any, but it's like they will dress you to usually show a lot of skin, and then once they go in jail, they just cover everything up just because it looks better, I guess, to the
well,
judge
and the jury,
and
if
the
whoever's
jury
going
and
to
the jury. I
whoever's
mean,
going to convict them is going to be like, oh, no, she doesn't seem like that, or she seems like a nice young lady, whatever. It's different if you come in there in like a tank top or like even in
yeah,
something a little more, even like a dress that shows like a little skin or whatever. This
yeah,
girl is like being convicted of like basically, seducing or having sex with whatever a minor, like a, you know what I'm saying? So you want to make
yeah.
yourself seem the least sexy. Like,
It's
I
just
had no
kind of,
idea
it's
where he got
funny
the
though.
idea. It is
Yeah.
funny. I chuckled because I was like, the
But what I
lawyer.
get is like
That was
it's
the
not like
lawyer's
they
idea.
can't they can't find her like social media stuff or anything and see how she actually dresses.
Well, I think that when you're in the jury, though, aren't you like not allowed to like? You have to be like impartial, and also
Mm,
depending on the people, you may get people who don't know anything about it. You know what I'm saying?
uh, I don't know because, or I did do jury duty, and usually it's kind of like that because they do go in and they don't want to have any information. Although with this, I feel like it's been plastered all over the news. I don't see how you wouldn't
That's true.
know,
That's true.
um, unless if they find people who I don't know how they do that. And maybe
They find
maybe
people who
some
lived under a rock for the last year.
yeah, and they usually will like try and not. They'll only give the facts because they don't want people to have a like biased opinion about anything going into it, and you want to hear the whole case and then you make the decision. But to me, I think it can just be very iffy and depend on the situation and stuff like that. I don't know,
Yeah, I
but
agree. Overall, I'm interested to see how it plays out.
so even then, if I would be in the jury and I would hear, okay, she's 24, he's 13, they had sex, I would automatically be like, girl,
Case
you're
closed.
24, you're the adult, okay, you
And
can
a
say
teacher. And
no.
a teacher. Not even just
You're
like
a
an
teacher.
adult.
You are over. You're say no to him. Don't give in to anything. It's like find you a man who is your age or whatever. Get with him. Don't get with a minor. It's so
If you
stupid.
need casual sex, man, it's out there for your age. If
She's
that's all
pretty.
you
That's
need.
the thing. She could
Yeah,
get any
she's
other
really
guy.
pretty. She's really pretty. Yeah, I'm sure she's not hurting for guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Maybe we'll give an update if we hear anything, like she got convicted or whatever. I don't know. I
Yeah.
did have another story, but it's getting a little late, even though it is kind of a good segue into talking about the other side of this. Um, but this is a story. Let me find it. I actually saw it before the show. I texted Sarah and I was like, can we talk about this, please? Because I really want to talk about it because it really makes me go up in arms. My arms were flailing like a mad woman. And I was like, this is ridiculous. It's an outrage. Not really. But anyway, let me see if I can pull it up on the blab. Well, I'll just find it later. But you can find it. It's basically from California. Um, there's a Stanford student whose son was convicted. I mean, there was a Stanford student who was convicted of sexual assault. This is what happened. This kid who was 20 years old from Dayton, Ohio, ironically, because we live in Ohio.
There's a lot
He
of
is a
bad seeds
disgrace for the
here.
state.
There's a lot
No,
of bad seeds in this
there are
in this
no bad
in this
seeds.
state.
There are only, I don't know. No,
Look
it's
in your
true.
reflection. There's a bad seed.
Oh. Anyway, he was convicted of 3 felonies, including assault with intent to rape, and faced with a maximum of 14 years in prison for it. And basically, there was a girl at a party, I'm paraphrasing this. There was a girl at a party. She got drunk. She passed out, and then she woke up with, like, this guy. He basically had her, like, half naked. Hold on a second.
He basically took advantage of her.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't remember if they said that he. Anyway, she wrote a letter to him describing the whole impact it had on her, her statement and everything. But let's see here. Basically, he took advantage of her. She woke up and the guy was like there, and she woke up in the hospital. They had witnesses to it and everything. She woke up in a gurney in the hospital. She had dry blood and bandages on the backs of her hands and elbows. She thought she had fallen, etc. The deputy explained that she was assaulted because she didn't even know she was assaulted because she was like drunk and passed out, and then she woke up the hospital on the gurney and like all this, evidence of sexual assault, and basically that she had been assaulted and there were witnesses to it, but she herself did not know until after the fact, and they did like a rape kit on her, etc. I don't think he actually raped her, but he assaulted her with intent to rape her. And what the whole story is, he was convicted, but this was the outrage of the story. He got convicted of like basically sexual assault, and he only got 6 months in prison. In prison. Yes. But he's only going to be serving 3 months of it even. The rest is going to be on probation. So he almost raped this girl because she was drunk at Stanford University, and he gets 6 months in jail. And not even 6 months, he gets 3 months in jail. That's it. And where the outrage comes is that like his father and him are like, well, it's a good decision because this 20 minutes of action is going to affect him for the rest of his life. So I think that he should be basically given a lighter sentence, is what he said. And I was like, what? What? Because it's like, let's see here. I'm trying to find the quote.
What the dad said?
Yeah. Or the judge, because the judge convicted, went along with it. Said that a positive character references and lack of criminal record had persuaded him to be more lenient. Prison would have had a severe impact on him, quote unquote, a judge said. Yeah, it would have had a severe impact on him. He would not have raped somebody, or like probably ever thought about it again, maybe. Not that I'm condoning that he should even have jail time necessarily. Maybe jail isn't, the option for this kid. But he should at least have some form of punishment other than 3 stinking months in jail. 3 stinking months, and then he's home free. Yeah. Well, he's still labeled as a sexual offender, so it's going to affect where he lives, all that stuff. And let's see here. The dad had a quote about it. Let's see here.
It said, well, I found the one that his father
Yeah.
called on the judge to grant his son the probation, saying that he
Yeah.
had already paid a steep price for
Yes,
20
yes, that's
minutes
what
of
I was thinking.
action.
Yes, he
And
already paid a steep
it's
price.
like his dad. And and it's like, oh, both.
He's
That's just like,
defending his son's action. That's ridiculous. And it's like,
that is.
I'm sorry that this kid, well, what was the, let's see here. I'm looking for a specific quote. Yeah, steep price for 20 minutes of action. Oh, this is what the dad said. Uh, this is how this whole thing has changed his life forever. Um, he will never be his happy-go-lucky self with that easygoing personality and welcoming smile, he wrote of his son. His every waking minute is consumed by worry, anxiety, fear, and depression. You can see it in his face, the way he walks, his weakened voice, his lack of appetite. His statement was met with fury on social media. Of course it was, and there was longer than that. Um, he said that
Yeah, it's,
prison wasn't the appropriate punishment. He is totally committed to educating other students about that. And basically, he wrote like in the statement about it on social media. He was like, I really looked forward to, doing this for my son and seeing him smile, like buying his favorite chips. And he said something about his favorite food is ribeyes, and now he won't even eat. He used to eat a ton of them, and now he won't even eat. He just eats for
yeah,
nourishment. And I'm
it's
like,
so
good.
stupid.
I hope he's not like doing that because guess what?
You
I hope
would
he feels
feel,
really bad. I hope
he
he
should
feels
feel
anxiety.
guilty.
Yes, he feels super guilty because he almost raped a girl. Like that's the thing. I hope. Well, I'm really sorry that his ribeye steaks aren't cheering him up like they used to. I mean, come on now. Boo hoo. Guess what this girl is having to go through? She's
Yeah,
having to go through somebody who almost raped her, like basically getting off scot free, and
yeah,
she's having her everything questioned. There was a statement about like they're questioning like her relationships, this and that and the other. Like everything about her life is being questioned. Basically, in my opinion, trying to find a reason to why it's somehow her
yeah,
fault because they always do that.
yeah,
They somehow turn it
yeah,
on the girl, and I'm saying they like in the metaphorical sense, but people seem to always try to find a way to turn it back on the girl. Like it has to have been her fault somehow. She must have been wearing something skimpy, whatever. And she wasn't, by the way. They talk about she was wearing a cardigan. Dang it. But anyway, they
Well, she
always
was
find.
blackout. If she was blackout drunk and passed out, the whole thing is she would have been laying there and whatever,
Yeah,
and then he took advantage of her. He assaulted her. That's the thing. It's not even like she was even doing anything. She was passed out sleeping, and then he got on her and did whatever,
yeah,
and
because
that was
he's
the
actually.
thing. So
Yeah,
it
he's.
wouldn't have, even if they would have tried to turn it around on the girl, the only thing that she did do wrong, which I would say, is she did get drunk. So drunk that apparently she passed out so much where she was so unconscious she had no idea what was going on.
Yes.
Uh, that would be probably the only thing which, if it would be me, I would think like, okay, I'm never drinking in my life again because I don't want this to happen again. But other than that, it's not her fault. That's the thing. It's not her fault. She just passed out, and he's the one that he wanted. That he took advantage of her.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
the
not on
dude's
her.
fault.
Not
No,
on her.
that's not her fault. That's not her at all.
It
Oh,
just makes me so mad because turn it around. The last thing we talked about, this girl who was with the 16-year-old, she's getting the book thrown at her, which Riley should be, but why should she get the book thrown at her? But this kid, who they're both of age and whatever, just
yeah.
gets off. I mean, he's a member of the swim team. He goes to Stanford University. He eats ribeye steaks. Now, come on, he's like some jockey dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Well,
I'd hate
if
to be
you
like judgy, but
here he is, here he is. You can see him. I don't trust him or
it's
whatever.
not about that. But it's
It's
like
not even that.
he almost
But
raped a girl. He should answer for it. It's not like 3 months and then
yeah,
nothing. I mean, yes, he's going to be a sexual offender and all that other stuff, but and the judge says a prison sentence would have a severe impact on him. Sure, but like put him in some sort of a program to where he can, learn about his mistakes and stuff. But this is my thing: if he's gonna do that, this time, what means he's not gonna do it again to somebody else
Yeah.
and actually like
Yeah.
go through with it? Like all rapists start somewhere. They start somewhere. Why not now? Like peeping toms, they start peeping toms sometimes. I mean, it's not like, oh, he's a good kid. We'll give him a pat on the back and send him on his way. It was probably this girl's fault. And also, I think if I read right, this girl is African American as well. There's another strike against her, which is dumb. That is so
It
dumb.
is. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if you
I
what
think I'm
color
not. I
you
mean,
are.
not confirmed, but I think she is.
Even if she
Um,
is or isn't,
it
that
doesn't
shouldn't
matter.
matter.
But I just think it's so dumb. That's like, well, that's more and more strike against her that people are going to bring up and be like, whatever. But anyway, I read the story and I was all up in arms because I'm like, this is such an example of like, what am I thinking of? The word that escapes me right now when I need it.
Double
It's like,
standards.
yes, double standards. Like that, this girl in this other case is being like the book runner, but this guy doing it is not
Mm-hmm.
as big of a deal. Why?
Yeah.
I just, and the whole like, um, issue with sexual assaults on campus, it's such a thing. Like, what, not even that long ago, I'm thinking a couple years ago, like the whole lacrosse team or something was convicted of, in some school, was convicted of some sort of assault. I don't know if it was like rape, but it was like some sort of assault on this girl. And like they were just being crazy, and like everybody was up in arms about that one too. And it was just like, what is the deal with it? I mean, I never experienced that in college, but I know there was like several stories
Yeah.
whenever we were
There
going
was
there.
one. There was one in the paper about at our school where it happened. It
Yeah,
was like a couple years ago, and apparently there was a girl and a guy. That's usually how it happens. But
yeah,
they were at a party or something, and apparently he did rape her. And I think he got suspended, maybe. I can't
he got suspended
remember.
and arrested too,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
what
he got.
he tried to say, and she tried to say like she was drunk, she didn't really know what she was doing, and then she was like, no, at the last minute or whatever, and he just didn't care, was the whole thing, which is rape. No means no, man. No
Yeah,
means no.
yeah,
And yeah, I am just up in arms because, he's not getting squat. But I feel like, again,
yeah,
mob justice of social media is going to attack this like the plague.
yeah.
Um,
I already saw things in that article he sent me that people were tweeting about it and like being like, "What a disgusting pig." And to me too, it's like the thing that gets me the most is the dad who's defending him.
that's the worst
That's
part.
ridiculous. Is his dad is just like, oh well, you know what? These things happen. He doesn't enjoy his steak anymore, and it's like, no, you're his parent. He did something that was illegal. You should not be like, oh, it's okay. It's no big deal. And it's like, what kind of a father is that where he's just okay with him going and doing
Well,
whatever to a woman who is unconscious and almost raping her? And apparently, he like hurt her because she was bloody and stuff. So
yeah,
he obviously did something but pretty bad to her. It's not even like a thing of just him touching her. It's like he actually like physically hurt her. And that
yeah,
isn't good even then. And it's like, and his dad's just like, oh well, he feels guilty, poor guy. And it's like he should feel guilty. You
yes,
shouldn't do
exactly.
something like that,
I'm
whether or not
sorry that
he's
he doesn't
right.
enjoy. I keep going back to the ribeye steak because I'm like,
Yeah, that's he's not his
immediate
happy perky self. And it's like, well, obviously
in
he
my
did
mind,
something
this is
bad.
this. I'm sure his dad is some rich broheme, like broing it up, and his son is like made a mistake with some girl, and he's like, I'm sure he's. I mean, this is judgy, but it's like, I'm sure he's like, no big deal. The girl was asking for it. Type attitude. He's very dismissive. Like
Mm-hmm.
he made a whole statement of it, and he's very dismissive. It's like, yeah, we'll continue to educate people about being drunk on campus, yada 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 yada. And it's like she's kind of dismissive of the whole thing, like that his son even made a mistake.
Yeah.
It's like, or like, oh, he made a 20-minute action is going to affect his whole life. Yes, it only takes like five
Listen,
minutes.
it only takes 5 minutes to have another action that will affect your life. It's called getting pregnant. And it's like,
Yes.
it's the same thing. It's like if you would go, It's not the same thing. That sounds a bit
No.
weird, but it's like if you would go and you like the other story where there was the chick and the 13-year-old boy, and they would be doing it, and then she got pregnant, and it's like there you go. And how many times where there's accidental pregnancies and stuff, and it'll be, a 5-minute action, and then there's something that happens that affects you for the rest of your life.
Well, or even like people who, like, if they say crime of passion, where they get really mad and they kill somebody out on the whim or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it takes like 5 seconds for you to lose your temper and hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But and yeah, that was a really bad decision, but that doesn't mean that you should just get off scot free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, oh, you really regret it, whatever. I'm like, I'm glad. I hope he never does anything
I
to a
hope he
woman
never
ever again.
enjoys his ribeye steak again.
Ribeye. I just keep coming to that because I'm just like, in my head, I was like, these are two brohens broing it up, father and
That's
son.
what
I
I
know
get.
it.
I get the feeling like that too. Is the dad? He's probably like the same type. Like you said, he's the type of guy who probably maybe he just doesn't have respect for women and he's just like, oh, whatever. She probably was dressed like all
Provocatively, yeah.
slutty and I can't talk, all
Yeah.
slutty and whatever, and so she had it coming, which is always what like we'll see
They
happen.
always do it. It's always the girl's fault. It's always the
And
girl's
it's
fault. And it's never the guy's fault. I feel
no,
like this is just a bigger issue. It's just like,
it
once
is.
again, this is another example of guys being jerks. Not the guys being jerks, but like,
No, it doesn't. To me, it's too. It's like it doesn't even matter. A girl could be covered up from like neck to toes, and a guy will still try and go after her. It
yeah,
doesn't
not
matter.
always,
Guys,
but like,
nothing against if you are a man and you're listening. There are some guys that are just like that. There are a lot of good, really good guys out there, of course,
it's
but
not a thing of guys. It's just, I don't have a problem with guys versus girls because, I mean, girls can be sexual assaulters too, as we have seen.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's not that. It's the fact the way the society handles it.
yeah,
Like, they
yeah,
handle it
yeah.
totally different way. Like, guys get a pat on the back. Girls are just like, whoa, you're not supposed to be doing that. You know? It's just like, I don't get it. It's a bigger issue, I think. I was all in up in arms, so I thought I would talk about it because, I'm interested to see how it will play out, if social media mob justice will have any effect.
I
Um,
hope it does. I mean, they certainly gave that mom enough flack about the whole mom and gorilla thing, which we didn't want to talk about. But it was
no,
like something like that. And then I don't know. I hope it does, and I hope the guy gets in more trouble. I hope he he needs to like get a good punishment. I think it should happen with a lot of people who like do some sort of crime like this. They need more than just in jail time. They need an actual thing to happen to them. Like
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
that they can try him again though, or has it went to trial even? You know what I'm saying?
I don't. When did this happen?
Now look, I can't remember. It's fairly recently. Um, well, the story was on June 5th, so Sunday, so not very. But he was
Yeah.
already went through court. He already went to court, and he was sentenced to 6 months
Oh
jail
yeah,
term.
that's right.
But he's only going to be actually serving 3 months of it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm just hearing about it today. I think it's been around for a while, but oh well, it's still early. This is only Monday, so I'm sure it'll be like a huge thing. It's like the gorilla thing. It started
Well,
out and
it could
then
even be like the other story where for those of guys, um, maybe that's what that guy's talking about. That this was it the story about the teacher and the 13-year-old boy.
yeah, somebody
Maybe
just
we were talking about that. I don't know if you were on here. Big Tex Gravy, nice name. Um, but we were talking about that, and I don't know where you were going with it. He threw me off, or she. But
oh, I
it
said
was
it's
it
still
was like that.
early,
Oh yeah,
but I
that's what it
don't
was.
think that he. I was wondering if he's actually like convicted, like trialed and whatever. Um, that he could be convicted again. Like it's like you can't
I
be
don't.
tried twice for the same crime or whatever. But I don't know if they can appeal it, like or whatever. I'm not sure like how all that works. It's confusing,
Um,
but
unless if the girl may do something, probably. If the girl, okay, that was a different story. That's still horrible. Um, unless if the girl like puts charges against him or something like that, which is possible since she would probably still be in the hospital and maybe be trying to wrap her head around what's going on and stuff, because then that may happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that it's such a bad situation. And this is the quote from her. She's like, there's no way this is going, she thought, there's no way, I thought there's no way this is going to trial. There are witnesses, there was dirt in my body, he ran but was caught. Instead, I was told he hired a powerful attorney, expert witnesses, private investigators, and that he would go at any length to convince the world that he had simply been confused about the whole situation. I was pummeled and with narrowed, pointed questions that dissect my life, and I saw the questions. They were very like pokey, like they're really trying to say, is there like some like little liver of a corner and be like, we got her, you know what I'm saying? She's a hoe, man, you know what I'm saying? And anyway, inane questions, family life, accumulate trivial details to try and find an excuse for this guy who had me half naked before even bothering to ask for my name. And I understand that that's their job to defend this kid. But I just feel, you know what? And the kid, this is what I was going to say before. And I got distracted. The kid's, so depressed. He's got like his ribeye steak is just not good anymore. But think about what this girl is going through. She was assaulted. She doesn't even remember it. Like, this has happened to her at a party, and she has like a whole big statement about it and et cetera, like leading up to it and this and that. And it's like, I'm sorry that you're a little depressed and a little anxious and, your steak doesn't taste good anymore. But this girl's going to have that for the rest of her life. She's going to be looking around corners wherever she goes. Yeah. A guy gets too close. She's going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to affect her for the rest of her life.
It scars you for life, because you always hear about a bunch of people, will get molested or any sort of sexual assault whenever they're a young age, and then they won't trust, like a woman will get that whenever she's a girl or even older, and she like never trusts men again.
Yes.
It's terrible.
But I would just say, it's like,
said,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, sorry. I was going to say, like you said about her always like being cautious and probably will be like traumatized basically, and she probably won't ever drink again, which is a real tragedy. Just joking. Yes. But it's like that, and it's just terrible. And I feel bad for the girl, because the whole thing is lawyers can try and say that, but I don't care. If she was passed out, she was unconscious, she didn't know what was going on, and apparently it was bad enough to where he was actually hurting her, and that didn't wake her up.
Well, and God bless the people, God bless the witnesses, whoever stopped him, and they said he ran away and was caught. So God bless the souls who who saw it, said something, because obviously they knew it wasn't consensual.
Yeah.
The witnesses, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're like, hey, he's doing that to that girl. Like, let's get a hold of him, God bless, because there's so many people who would just let that go. And it's hard to think that, but it is. Like, people just look the other way or be like, oh, that's not my business or whatever. And then they actually caught him, like, running away. Again, God bless the people who caught him, because he could have been long gone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I guess I'm proud of those people, but I don't know. If he ends up, I just hope they do something. I don't know what that something is. And he at least serves his full 6 months and maybe gets counseling. I think and all if that
he even he should have the full 6 months or longer and have to do community service or something.
Yeah, and I think he needs counseling, obviously.
And counseling, but I mean, and a bunch of stuff,
And they're saying he would respond negatively to prison. Yeah, everyone responds negatively to prison. It's
Do you think
prison.
anyone wants to go to prison? You don't have your phone. They don't serve ribeye steaks in there.
We say ribeye steaks, but it's true. I mean, this is the same kid who can afford to hire the biggest lawyer, private investigators, and eat ribeye steaks.
Well, I kind of wonder how much his dad did that. Because if his dad.
Well, I know, but I'm saying his family. It's implied his family.
Yeah, it seems like it's he. I get the vibe that he was a privileged type of person where he grew up, with nice things and all
Two
this
bro
stuff.
hymns, broing it up, father and son.
He's from Dayton. He could have went to Ohio State or the school we went to or something.
Yes.
He could have went to
Could have
Ohio
really
State
lived a dream
or
there.
a school in Ohio and pay less money or whatever. And he goes to Stanford all the way in
Yeah, that's like one of the top schools in the country.
yeah, and
Duh.
whatever. And so I get the vibe that he's had that. And so, he doesn't enjoy his ribeye steaks and he won't
Well,
respond
and
well to prison. And it's like,
I'm
he
sorry,
shouldn't.
you made a huge mistake. You made a huge mistake. And you should pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I mean, that's really harsh. And it kind of goes back to but it's such a thing in our society too, where people like that, they really do get off with stuff. If I would like think if he were like a different race, they would have slammed the book at him.
Oh,
you know what I mean? If he didn't have the family.
Yeah, that's what I thought whenever you said that you thought that the girl is African American, and I wonder, like, what they would have done if the guy would have been African American too. If they would have
They would have slung the book at him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they slung the book at him.
That is so wrong if it would have been that, because, like, as you guys can tell, we are both white women, and we're not racist. We're not racist at all, or anything like that. And I always think it's so wrong where there are racial stereotypes and where, like, I'm not against white people, but I feel like it's so wrong how white people, we have the privilege upper hand thing.
Yes, we're the product of white privilege most of the time. Yeah, and it's that's terrible, and I hate that exists, but it's just a fact, and we need to, as a country, as a society, we just gotta, I don't know, get it in gear, basically, because it's wrong. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that if he was black, the book would have been thrown at him, and if she was white, the book would have been doubly thrown at him.
Mm-hmm.
If she was black or not, but I mean, if she was white and he was black, there would have been.
Yeah.
Privilege or not.
He probably would have got, if it would have been that, then he probably, no questions asked, none of
he would have served the full 14 years in jail.
Even if he would have still been, from a privileged family, he probably still would have just automatically gotten, I don't know, 5 years of prison time or something like that.
Well, he said that he could have served up to 14, so.
Or 14 years of prison time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
up to
that
14.
would have happened.
Yeah.
Even if he would have come from a privileged family and be black, because there's plenty of people who are from privileged families. I cannot talk.
Yes.
I still think that it wouldn't have mattered. He still would have gotten it if then. But no, he's not. He's gonna only get 3 months of jail time, which is ridiculous.
Yep. Mhm. And Sarah, he's already paid a steep price for 20 minutes of action.
So stupid.
Yeah, I hope he is paying a steep price. I was gonna mention one more thing before we close this shindig, but it was something that I saw what his actual charges were, because we were talking about what he actually did to her, and it says the maxima is assault with intent to commit rape of an intoxicated woman, sexually penetrating an intoxicated person with a foreign object, and sexually, oh my gosh, I clicked it off on accident, and sexually penetrating an unconscious person with a foreign object. So yes, we were correct in our assumption that he had to have done something to have her half naked, and like I said, they performed a rape kit on her, so yeah, that was intense. That's not innocent kissing of a drunk girl or anything. Not that that's innocent either.
Well, that's like what I said. It's not like he just felt her up or anything.
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to play it off as. Not like that he felt her up, but it's no big deal. Not no big deal, but he's learned his lesson. He's suffered enough. He doesn't eat ribeye steaks anymore. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
He doesn't enjoy his ribeye steaks. That doesn't mean he doesn't eat them. He just doesn't enjoy them like he used to.
Yeah, you know. Well, anyway, that was my last point. Basically, this guy seems like a real piece of work.
I thought
Oh,
you
what
wanted
now?
to see his charges, though.
That's what he was charged with. I read him to you.
I was thinking money or something.
Oh, no, he
I
was
don't know
charged with
why.
that.
Okay.
Those
then.
3 things are up to 14
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
That's what the actual, like, on
Yeah.
paper charges were. So we will follow this story, and if we have any updates to these stories, we'll probably update you in the next week's show because, listen, I'm following it, especially this one because it's recent. Like, it just happened yesterday, the big uproar about it. So I'm sure it will expand in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Just like the Gorilla Mom.
The Gorilla Mom.
Makes it sound like the mom was a gorilla.
I don't mean to laugh if anyone's, feels jolly, but it's whatever.
It did blow up on social media.
It did, and so many people had so much stuff to say. We didn't want to talk about it because
it's been talked about.
It's been talked about a lot. So, yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much. I think we're gonna end the show here. But let us know what you think of this new format. We're going to try it out. We felt that it would work better for the both of us. Obviously, we can both talk about these topics since it's almost been 2 hours. But hope you hung in with us until the end. Thank you for listening to us, if you're catching the replay. And thanks to everybody that came out to see the recording. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.